everybody out there.
Peace and love, brother. How are you?
Hey,
Peace and
all is
love.
well on my end.
Same here, same here. We have a controversial one right today. Do you have any banners for the whatchamacallit? No, right? We should have done that, bro. Dang.
Nah, nah,
No.
nah.
Well, the
I don't
title,
have it. I mean, you can. That's a part of the 30 seconds.
right? Well, the title we have for you guys today is "All embryos are not female during conception." That's what it says, right?
Oh, at conception.
At conception.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get the all embryos are not female at conception. So I see we already have, the regular people
See,
showing
see.
up already. We appreciate you. Music Land be on it. He be all over it. I
A
mean,
matter of fact, y'all go subscribe to Music Land HQ 82. You know what I'm saying? We rocking with
Absolutely.
the God. Yeah, you got some good music for y'all. You feel me? Nothing but soul.
most definitely,
Oh
most
my
definitely.
goddess. Oh my
So,
goddess. Go look it up.
trio deals definitely. So,
Yeah, we can get right with it, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like if you could pull up the post and blow it up, you
yes.
know,
The
let the
Well, before we go anywhere,
infamy.
I want to make sure that everybody, just is aware, that we have three different channels available. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and give us your input whether you're watching it right now or if you watch it later on. But make sure that you do go and subscribe to Yasini in the house, to the D Calico channel as well, and you can find me under the Task Show. All right. Um, I'm not too sure if everybody else has the same names on the other platforms, but with me, with the exception of Facebook, you could find me under Tasmaniac Wolf on Facebook, but I have a business page under the Task Show. But everything else, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or whatever, you could find me under the Task Show. I am more active on YouTube and Facebook, specifically Facebook, but I am trying to build my channel. I
Hey,
guess, but go give us a like and a subscribe on all our channels. You wanted to add something,
hey,
bro?
nah, I'm finna say we finna get it in. Cause guess what? If they miss out, they miss out. You know what I'm saying? They got to catch up, mustard. You know what I mean? For
Most
real.
definitely.
We gonna make them relish.
Let's
So we gonna start with brother Calico wanted to start with a post that he made that I'm putting up right now, right here, and I'm gonna make it.
Now clicking the images. Oh well, yeah. You can start off by what I said at the top.
So
Sister
if
Alcina, you want to help us out?
yeah, you wanna read the post, sister Yasini, of what it is that he's speaking about.
Yep. So all embryos are gender neutral at conception. All embryos are not female at conception. They may be dickless, but they're also vaginaless. So much is yet to be developed internally and externally to say all embryos are female at conception. So testosterone determines sex, not those X's and Y's. Okay. So
Right.
already we
Uh,
fucking with your cognitive dissonance.
right. So first of all, I guess I should let everybody know. We do have different views in this thing. Because that's the reason why I was interested in it. In the whole outtake. Because This is Brother Calico's viewpoints, and I'm gonna present my own because I actually do think. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I know that we all start off as females. I mean, it sounds a little harsh, you know. Some feelings might be hurt, you know, from people that you know that may be, you know, not in their emotional state where they could handle an intellectual conversation like Brother Calico and I are about to have. This ain't not don't expect that there's gonna be no argument. Will it be a small little debate? Yeah, it's gonna be a small little debate because we're gonna both present our information, give our intake on what it is that we think and how we see things, and we're gonna weigh out the options or whatever. But in the end, there ain't gonna be no winner because in the end, we all win. In the end, the point is for us to learn. All right, regardless of what it is, something will be learned before the show is over. So make sure that you're listening up to give us your input. You know, and whatever it is that we're about to say. But this is Brother Calico's post, and like he said, you know, all embryos were gender neutral. You know, there is, you know, they're vaginaless and they're also, you know, dickless. So that's his. And he brought a couple pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
The,
Click into the first one. Yeah, thank
the
you. Yeah,
first
you
one,
can zoom.
see if I can make it bigger. There we go.
There you
The
go.
first
Can
one
it
being
get bigger?
that's as big as it get.
All right. I'm gonna
I can
say,
see it. You have a
okay.
problem? I'll be glad to read.
Go ahead, sister.
Okay, so here's embryo development. During the first few weeks of fetus development, your baby's internal and external genital structures are the same, regardless of whether you are ultimately going to have a boy or a girl. They have two sets of organs, one that can develop into the female sex organs or the Mullerian duct, and one that can develop into the male sex organs, which is the Wolffian ducts. So the gonads will become ovaries or testicles. The phallus will become a clitoris or a penis, and the genital folds will become labia or scrotum. Which sex organs develop depends on the presence of the male hormone testosterone. In humans, the default sex is female,
All
and
right.
um,
So,
and you have it, the
so
default sex.
right. So there is not much that I'm gonna contest as far as this post, only to add value to it because the vast majority of what it's speaking on are actual facts. All right.
You can read the comments too if you wanted to, just so I can, I'm gonna be able to. I'm gonna elaborate. I've already elaborated in the comments a little bit, but the next picture and the next picture just
Right.
further things like.
Right. So just to you know analyze what was said, you know, it's coming to the post is coming to the conclusion, well, to the assertment that, you know, that something occurs during the first weeks of whatever of life, or, you know, or of the embryo starting is developing stage. All right. And it's explaining, you know, how the gonads are either going to become testicles or they're going to become ovaries, which those are facts. You know, there is no contesting none of that. You know, those gonads, they're either going to stay where they're at and spread into the fallopian tubes, or they're going to drop and be your balls. You know, there is no contesting that. There is more things in regards about the female anatomy that determine the sex of a woman, of a being, whether it be a boy or a girl. You know, obviously the main organs would be, you know, your reproductive your reproductive
Yeah.
set sets of organs, you know. But there is more to it. But you want to add something, Brother Canico?
Now I was saying you could have read those comments.
Oh,
Well, wait, who's that?
okay,
Between me and your sister? Is that me and your sister Jasmine Elliott? Because a lot of those you got to read them all. I don't think it's really that many though.
right.
A lot of
Sherika Coleman states, I don't even have to read this to determine it's the truth. How the fuck a male was a female before and then turned back to a male? Well, I mean, we
tap
going
on all kind of thing. I know what you finna go and do.
right.
Yeah.
We going to, and then I know Jasmine. She's a real close friend of mine. She dropped something, an article. We're not gonna get into. I have an article myself that I'm gonna talk into, so I'm not gonna click on any links just because I don't want the extra that comes with it. And those don't turn back to men. Uh,
Now,
so
now go to Me and Jasmine. Where Jasmine coming?
Jasmine has her
That
own.
was recently. Cause this posted in 2018, so Jasmine was the most recent person. Just
Oh,
recently that commented.
she said originally a year ago. This says that they have two sets of organs and choose one after time. What does not make sense is one, after saying there is two sets of organs, it says that the gonads will either turn to ovaries or testicles. If there was any truth to this two sexes theory, how come there is teenage kids who are born girls but grow a penis at age 12 or 13? That's a good point. I'm gonna talk about that after Brother Calico presents his post, where the penis and testicles come from if the body had already picked to be female. If they are not one in the same but two different sets of organ, how does this complete sex change occur from teenage girl to a complete boy who can impregnate a woman? And Brother Calico had uh, a comment also a year ago. It says, no, it says two organs, as in a pair of gonads which turn male with the introduction of testosterone, which is facts. Though that's another thing that this post brings up, speaks on, that are facts. The way that a male becomes a male is that testosterone is introduced into the equation. Before that, there is no testosterone. Um,
There's no male. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Right. And it says decat. Then also a year ago, it says, and obviously those boys who were girls were never internally girls, which is what really matters. And who knows what kind of bizarre shit these these people. I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to get no strikes or nothing like that
Yeah.
on the channel. Experimented on these people. You think that ish is normal? Oh, and she just answered recently. It says 6 days ago. It says, I don't know how I missed it the first time, but your own picture says at the very end, in parentheses, in humans, the default sex is female. Well, I'm glad he noticed it. That was one of the things that I was gonna make mention. But before I even make mention to it, Brother Calico answers with, it says all embryos are phenotypically feminine, but definitely genderless. It says without
Mm,
testosterone, all embryos are female by default. You get it?
hmm
And
That means no
mm,
testosterone. You can only create a woman.
mm,
right, right. And then
Yeah.
she comes back with, gender is speaking about genetics. Sex speaks in regards to reproduction and sexual organs, which those are facts. The default gender would be male because it is the creation. Wait, what? The default gender would be male because it is the creation after its original mode, even though gender is a human construct that only speaks of what a person believes or thinks they are. Sex cannot be contested. You either have a vagina or you have a penis, and the default sex has always been female. So she makes the comparison from sex and gender. All right. uh
Mhm.
she makes the mention that when Gender through speaks of what a person believes in shit. Right. So when she's saying that when you speak of gender, you're speaking of the genetics of the person. When you're speaking about sex, you're speaking about reproduction. All right. And then she said the testosterone part is only the presence of the SR. Oh, damn, she went. All right, is the presence of the SRI gene. For those that are not aware what the SRI gene is, I gotta copy this and uh, uh,
Yeah, it's our what?
the SRY gene.
Yeah.
Just in case if the family is not aware of what the SRY gene, because it says the SRY gene provides instructions for making a protein called the sex determinant region Y protein. This protein is involved in male typical sex development, which usually follows a certain pattern based on individual chromosomes. People usually have 46 chromosomes in each cell. All right. So that's the SRY chromosome that she was making reference to, aka the Y chromosome, which is a mutated X that lacks the entire genetic structure of its original cell. Now I don't know about that mutated stuff, but but it does lack the genetic structure that it has, only because it has separated from its original mode, not because it's a mutation. And Brother Calico answers with testosterone shrinks the X into a Y. Sex is determined by the presence of testosterone or not. Until then, like a mannequin, all embryos by default look phenotypically feminine, but they're not females. You want to add something, brother?
I mean, I mean, maybe people might need to know what phenotype mean. That's about it, because that's a word we're gonna be using almost
Right.
every other
Pheno,
video.
right.
Yeah, phenotype.
Phenotypic less.
I want to say something before you go further with her remarks.
Go ahead, sister.
Uh, I know a couple who had a baby and did have both sex, and it was up to the parents to choose which one was going to go.
Yeah, I hate that.
And
That's disgusting.
yeah,
That don't do that.
That's an
yeah. So that
interesting one.
proves that they can fully develop and be birthed with both.
No, no,
So,
that's both. But we talking. Yeah, I like and see what that's just proving is androgyny, or what we call a
well,
hermaphrodite.
I was commenting on what she said earlier about
Yeah,
they
see
can't
they
have
call it.
both.
You, we used to terms like hermaphrodite. Which comes from
Right.
Hermes and Aphrodite. But nowadays, if you
Hmm.
were to like look it up and find out about it, it's called dual sex. Like brother probably pull that up after that, but dual, like DUAL, meaning like
Hmm.
two sex. You feel me?
Right,
Like, and they saying one out of every 1,100 births is dual sex. So is more babies than that being born every day. So this happens every day.
right.
You know what I mean? Like every thousand or so babies. So this they know it's going on. That's why people speak on how Hollywood might be cluttered with these people. You feel me? That
Hmm.
may have both, like Weinstein. Uh,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
because
Well,
the
for
woman who
family that was go ahead, brother. Go
yeah,
ahead.
the woman who brought charges up on him said that he forced himself on her, and when he took his clothes off, he had a vagina. But anyways, on
Hmm.
allegedly, what I'm saying is back to this post
Right.
where
So
oh no,
in
go matter of fact, phenotypically, go ahead. Or phenotype.
just for those that are not aware, it says the observable physical or biochemical characteristics of an organism as determined by both genetic makeup and environmental influences. The expression of a specific trait, such as stature or blood type, based on genetic and environmental influences. All right.
or or just put phenotype because they're trying to be a little more specific for you since we saying phenotypically, like we added the word typically to it. But when you put phenotype, it's all still telling you that it's talking about your features or the
Phenotype.
way you look.
Right. The set of observable characteristics of an individual resulting from the interaction of his genotype with the environment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the way you look is what your phenotype is. Your
Right.
phenotype is
Is making reference, well, Brother Calico is making reference right here, and he's quoting some part in here that says that there something is phenotypically, it says it in here that went the
oh, no, I'm letting it be known that it's phenotypically. You know what I'm saying? But it's
oh
saying that yeah,
Mhm.
it's saying by default, you feel me? Because I've already studied more than that poster course. So I know. And I'm
now
probably going to
to
show you. I don't even remember everything about this post, but I know that that's what the point is. It's like a mannequin. Like a mannequin. If you look at a mannequin, some of them are men. They have a chest. Some of them are girl mannequins in the store. But if you take the clothes off every mannequin, none of them have anything between their legs. So what does that look like? That's the phenotype. The phenotype is all feminine. All mannequins are phenotypically feminine because none of them have anything hanging down there. You know what I mean? So, it's not to say it was a vag, it's not to say anything is truly there, but it's still the fact that it's nothing there. So it looks, you know, feminine, not to say it's a woman, not to say it's a female, but feminine, because that's feminine, not to have anything down there. It don't make you a woman though.
right,
You know?
right. Now here's where it's gonna where I'm gonna introduce my and family, don't forget, I'm a motherfucking man before anything, so don't think that I'm on some what a this
No,
is my perception,
it, no,
and
brother, you still ain't go to the other parts of the post, like as far as the
the other
like
pictures you mean?
pictures. Yeah, 'cause that's the only thing I wanted Sister Yasini to read, and it's gonna support everything. Now go to the one at the top first. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So testosterone converts to. I'm trying to get my glasses on so I can see. The font is kind of small. I know that's not the biggest it could go, but
Blow it up. Blow it up.
dihydro.
Okay. Like make it full screen.
Right.
I think that might be as big as
I can
it.
I can make do with this with my glasses on. So testosterone converts to dihydrotestosterone in the skin of the external genitalia and masculinizes the external genital structures. By 12 weeks, most of this male differentiation has occurred, but they are still not completely formed. On ultrasound, if your baby is cooperating, the sex can be identified as early as the 16th to the 18th week of your pregnancy. So the testicles remain inside the abdomen until late in the third trimester when they usually descend into the scrotum. Sperm is not produced until puberty. So the female development will occur unless maleness is actively induced by the Y chromosome. If the embryo is female, is XX, there no testosterone is made. The Wolffian duct will degrade. The Mullerian duct will develop into female sex organs. In females, the gonads become ovaries, the uterus, cervix, fallopian tubes, and the vagina form. The labia develop, and the phallus becomes a clitoris. In girls, the ovaries contain over 6 million eggs. This decreases to approximately 1 million by birth and will be reduced to about, hmm,
Yeah, like 100 or so thousand. By that time. But it's one more, and then that's the one that really just bring the firework for me. Because it
Okay.
got the image. It got the image of a true embryo.
Right.
If
Right.
it ain't zoomable.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. So the external genital changes in embryo development, 42 days or 6 weeks after fertilization, which is around week 8 of a pregnancy. So the embryo size on this pic is a half inch or 12 millimeters. And this is a 6 week old embryo. So at the number one spot, you have the buzz of the arm developing. The number two spot, if y'all can see this pics, it's the arc branchial. Number three spot is the placenta membrane, which is that's the outer side, the number three. Number four spot is the an eye. The fifth spot is a genital tuber. At the number six
See,
spot, you
yeah,
can
yeah,
see the site of the heart.
yeah. Genital too, but they need to remember that word because, like I say, there is no gender. There's no gender. It's a genital tuber right there between the legs
Mhm.
of any embryo and every embryo. But keep continue.
Yeah, so the sixth the sixth spot is the site of the heart. The seventh is the bud of the leg. Number eight is the tail, and number nine is the umbilical cord. And
Facts.
so at the 6 weeks, the site of the genitals is a small bud called the genital tuber. Until the ninth week of embryo development, the embryonic reproductive apparatus is the same one for the two sexes. By the end of the 20th week, the external genitalia changes for boys and girls are almost done. On ultrasound, if your baby is cooperating and is positioned in a favorable way, his or her sex can be identified as early as the 16th to 18th week of your pregnancy.
Hey, so in that first line, like it says, at the 6th week, the site of the genitals is a small bud called the genital tuber. I
Mhm.
mean, that's not feminine. I mean, that's not female, And this don't matter. I mean, this is every single embryo up until that point. They all have a small bud. That small bud is not female nor male. It's just called a genital tuber. You feel me?
Mm.
This is the real image of it. So that's why I say phenotypically, we could say because there's nothing swinging and hanging down there. Yeah, it's phenotypically feminine, but it's not a
Mm.
female. It's not a male. There's nothing there. People, I mean, I almost rest my case. Other than that, you could read that last comment. Matter of fact, I tagged Jasmine over there in this one because she was coming every time, and I tagged her over here and said something about genital tuba. I never heard back from the sister, but I'm gonna send her this video. I'm gonna send her the video.
The
So
last comment says, "We are the aliens that we've been looking for." It says, "My opinion," and
Hey,
at one
show
stage
that
in birth.
picture. Yeah, matter of fact, show that picture that she dropped in the comment when in the reply. Because matter of fact, they're not. Hey, all embryos are not born female, but they're all born alien. Click on that image.
Oh, shit.
They all look like aliens. The truth is what strangers
Yeah.
in fiction. Why do they look like? Why do these little embryos start to look like that before they even look like a boy or a girl? Huh?
Uh,
right,
They all might be born alien.
those are facts.
yeah. Do aliens have
Yeah.
tails?
I mean, see, that's where the comparison with the dolphin and all of that comes in.
Right.
Hmm.
Or we are the reptilians, all of that. But yeah, if you look
Right.
at the embryo of a dolphin and a human, they look identical up until a certain point, and it just it just look like the head is bigger. You feel me on the dolphin? You feel me? But it's so identical to the human embryo. It scare you when it comes to science. You know,
Mm-hmm.
leave a lot of questions unanswered. But
Yeah.
yeah, brother Taz, that's just my take on it. You feel me?
So I'm gonna add my spoon to the bowl, and I'm and I'm gonna throw my shit in there, just just to add value, you know, within the certain things. All right. Now, one thing that I wanna stress on the post, is the default sex, and why is it called the default sex? All right. When we're speaking about sex, we can't we're speaking of reproduction. Reproduction brings about, a whole nother being that needs to be nourished. All right. And we know for a fact that the only ones that can nourish is it's a woman, it's a female. All right, she's the one that nurtures the baby. All right, before and after, before and after. All right, during the 10 months of pregnancy, yes, you are pregnant for 10 months, not nine. During the 10 months of pregnancy, and also during the first 7 years of the child's life. All right. Regardless of what gender the child might be, whether it's boy or female, during the first 7 years of life, is the mother, the one that's supposed to nurture that child and make him ready so that his daddy could take over from 7 to 14. But that's a whole nother video. But the default sex, all right. Why is it called the default sex? All right. I asked Google a simple question. What is the default sex in human? It says the default sex, female, and they answer female. The default sex, without any other further input, is actually female. However, the presence of a gene called SRY on the Y chromosome initiates the release of testosterone and the formation of male sex organs. All right, and why do they call it the default sex? The reason why it's called the default sex is because your vagina is not the only thing that determines sex. Can somebody, we have a few people watching, if anybody could answer, and probably even somebody within the panel, can somebody tell me, let me show my face, can somebody tell me, why do I have nipples? What is the purpose of the nipple sitting in my body? If somebody could actually, in the comment section or within the panel, if they could explain to me the purpose. This is a dual question: the purpose and the why they are there. All right. So go ahead, brother. Oh, I thought you were saying you were saying something. My bad. But
Yeah.
but when we look, and this is just a simple Google search. And before I say that, this one where it says that the false sex is female. This is Harvard saying this. All right, this is not the TashowConspiracy.com. And not that Harvard has any any, because I'm very very much against the whatchamacallit, the educational system. But this is Harvard speaking. This is not Tash speaking. This is what I've studied and what I've
I,
researched.
I, I ain't gonna lie. When I look at it myself, like if you ask me, okay, why do men like why we got nipples?
Right?
I
Why do you?
mean, it's simply to me because like you can't pass on something you don't have. It's like we have an X and a Y. You know. Being that we have an X and a Y, I have to have the remnant of that, and then I can also make a daughter. You feel me? I can also assist in making a daughter. I can also assist in making a son because I'm really like bipartisan. You feel me? Even though I'm really, a male. We males, but we missing what? You know, a certain amount of DNA, which is obviously the womb and things like breast.
Right,
And we decide to be like that, but we have to have some. It's just like saying we're basically recessive in that regard, but it has to be there in order for me to pass it on. I have to have that in me, or I can never. I probably wouldn't be able to make a daughter. You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
It'd probably be hard to make a boy too. I'm just saying, but it would definitely. I wouldn't be able to make a girl.
Right. No, that those are facts, but that's where the science comes into, because it will be the woman that will have to pass on that genetic that genetic input, because it can't come from us. It just can't come from us. That is the reason why we have nipples, and there is absolutely no purpose for it. So I asked Google, a simple question, and this is from postgraduate medical journal. This is not me talking or anything like that. Men have nipples because embryos are always female in their early stages, and males only differentiate when the female prototype after a few weeks. Unfortunately, the problem with this explanation wasn't just their banality. They are merely accounts of how things happen, not actually why. All right. They're just telling you that they don't know why this happens, but they that we just know that it does. What does happen is the fact that there is some mode. There is some mode that is utilized from the beginning, and that mode has to have the characteristics of a female so it could reproduce itself and nurture at the same
So,
time once
so,
it once it
so
comes into
why do
reproduction.
so why do women have a clitoris?
What do you mean? Why do women have a clitoris?
I mean, I want to understand. I just want to hear some science with this.
Right. I mean, but I mean, we could.
Why,
I'm not
why do
gonna give you
well,
science on something that but let's
well
have.
let's yeah, let's what Google will say about such a thing.
I mean, we know that the clitoris is what is gonna elongate and is going to become your
Right.
penis.
Nope, nope, that's not it because they just told you it's the Wolfian duct that does that, and it's the Malarian duct that does that. Her clit is a Malarian duct. It's not a Wolfian duct. And you're Tasmaniac Wolf, so you need to be goddamn Tasmaniac Wolfian and understanding. You feel me?
I
What's the book?
hear what you're saying in regards about
No,
what
no. What did Google say about her? You know, that part of her, that pearl.
why does she have
Yeah.
a clitoris. It didn't give me that's part of female reproductive. It's also an erogenous organ, meaning it plays.
I
Um,
mean, if anybody in the chat want to let me know, I'm just saying.
all right.
Like,
Well, this is what this is saying. I've never looked up the question as to why they have a clitoris. I do know that it elongates, and the reason why I'm telling.
no, I know you're saying that with those girls that turn into boys that you're gonna show the people about.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, but how is that happening then? I mean,
Man, I don't trust these people.
right. Neither do I. But it's happening, and it's not
It's
happening.
definitely happening. But I wanna hear the ancestors in their writings speak of this. You
We
know
go
what I mean? If I see it going on nowadays in this world, I'm like, oh, you know?
in this town. The melanated people within it. All right. It's not a town in this country. All right. The melanated kids in this country, they are coming to this world birth, and they are females. They have everything obviously without the breast, because they have to go through puberty to get that, but what you call it, but the everything about them, they have a vagina, they have um their fallopian tubes, they have their the clitoris and everything. At the age of 12 to 13 years old, it there is a process that some of them, not all of them, some of them go through, in which the girl becomes a complete boy and grows a penis. All right, I'm gonna let the reader bust it down real quick, so I don't have to go through it.
In this isolated village, little girls are turning into boys at puberty. For most boys and girls, puberty is an awkward and difficult time. Voices drop, mood swing, and hair grows in places it never did before. But in an isolated village in the Dominican Republic, 1 in 90 children goes through some far more extreme changes. Many children in the village of Salinas who are seemingly born female grow male genitals at around the age of 12 and continue their life as young men. These children are known as gavedoses, which translates to penis at 12, or macahembras, which means first a woman, then a man. When they are born, they have no testicles and what appears to be a vagina. It's only when puberty hits that a penis grows and testicles descend. Johnny, now in his 20s, recalls his experience growing up as a gavedoje. He was raised as a girl, Felicita, and remembers feeling uncomfortable wearing girls' clothes to school. When they bought me girls' toys, I never bothered playing with them. All I wanted to do was play with the boys. For Johnny, the changes happened at age 7. He says he never felt like a girl and was much happier when he had fully become a man. What seems like a strange miracle to most has become commonplace in Salinas. It's a rare genetic disorder that has become prevalent in a small village due to the isolation of its inhabitants. Most gavedoses adopt a new name after the transformation, but others choose to keep their female names. As a consequence, there are men in Salinas with names like Catherine. In the Dominican Republic, the gavedoses are accepted and their transformations are celebrated. Here they believe there are in fact 3 sexual categories: female, male, and pseudo-hermaphrodite. Cases of the genetic disorder have also emerged in the Sambian villages of Papua New Guinea, although there the children are shunned and are often seen as flawed males. What causes the disorder? In the womb, all babies, regardless of gender, have internal glands called gonads and a small bump called a tubercle between their legs. At 8 weeks, an enzyme called 5A reductase triggers a surge of dihydrotestosterone in the male babies, which turns the tubercle into a penis. For females, the tubercle grows into a clitoris. In the case of the gavedoche, 5A reductase is missing from their genetic makeup. The growth of the penis is not triggered in the womb, and they are born with what appears to be a vagina. But around 12 years later, when the next surge of testosterone hits in puberty, the male genitals emerge. Gavedoses were first discovered in 1970 by Dr. Julianne Imperato, a Cornell University endocrinologist. She heard seemingly far-fetched rumors about girls turning into boys in the Dominican Republic and could not help but investigate. Her research into the genetic disorder was picked up by Merck, an American pharmaceutical company who used her findings to create a drug called finasteride, which is a 5A reductase inhibitor. Today, finasteride is widely used to treat male pattern baldness and benign enlargement of the prostate. Dr. Michael Mosley traveled to Salinas and spoke with gavedoses like Johnny for his documentary series Countdown to Life: The Extraordinary Making of You, which looks at the consequences of normal and abnormal developments in the womb. You can find out more about the series here.
That's the video. All right. So is this a natural occurrence? I don't know. It might be the result of some chemical whatever. The point here is, regardless of how you look at it, whether it's an experiment and that's why it's happening, or if it's naturally taking place, The point is that a female, it's turning into a man, regardless of how it's happening. It's occurring because the clitoris is becoming an elongated penis. All right. Now, like I said, I have no idea if this is a what you call it, a natural event, or if it's something that's occurring because of something that went wrong in Haiti. They keep calling it. They could call it the Dominican Republic, whatever, as much as they want to. But we all know that this is Haiti. But it's happening here in this island, and actually, it's something that they've been studying, from what we heard, the reader, that has been happening since the seven. Well, they found out about it in the 70s. All right. But at the same time, when you look at the genetics in within yourself, as you begin, it tells you, this is a government website, PubMed,
Hey,
ncbi.nm.
hey, Earth God. Hey, I guarantee them the ones that never get fellatio. Hey, I'm dropping the mic.
He ain't getting no fellatio. So, it says right here, genetics. When you're talking about genetics, we're speaking about your genes. All right. Genetics have discovered that all human embryos start life as females, as do all embryos of mammals. Reason why Earth Guide mentioned, like hyenas. Yeah, exactly like hyenas. All right. About the
Can I can I put my 2 cents in?
please, sister, please do.
Thank you. Okay. Obviously, we're going to have this argument if we just looking at science, and if we're just looking at their science, we're always going to have questions. When we put ourselves in the state of mind as to being a philosopher, then we're going to include more than just science. We're going to include some metaphysics, some like Dr. Deborah Blair said, that a woman can choose what sex she's going to have. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Dr. Blair, but he
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
over, he has
yeah,
a man series and a female
yeah,
series. He's explaining the mother has the power in her mind to say whether
no,
that child is going to be a
no,
girl or a boy.
no. I mean, I mean, you can definitely associate it with the mind, but he was saying that the mother produces the testosterone. You feel me? Because what we not understanding also, that's why soy is no good. Soy basically is like estrogen, and too much estrogen in women creates testosterone. And too much testosterone in men produces estrogen.
Okay,
So that's why
I was
that's why
gonna
men that's why men will grow breasts, and that's why women will start to get all their hair on their chin, and you feel me, and
right.
get real buff and strong because their body, the estrogen has turned into testosterone.
Yeah, and besides in that, there's like again, there's other than just science that could be playing a role. And when we're only looking at science, that's why we're gonna have this back and forth on, yeah, it was a female first, yeah, it was a male first. But when we start to look at other things, and when we truly ponder and look at other physics, other chemistries that could take place, I myself believe that it's just androgynous in the beginning, like like as above, so below. When Mercury is the center or the closest to the sun, Mercury is androgynous. It doesn't have a sun and a moon. It is both its sun and moon. Once it comes out into our plane, then we have this binary pair, which is the sun and the moon. I'm saying once we start fitting all all of that into all of our thoughts instead of just like reading scientifically what they wrote, we're always going to have more to ponder. A lot of stuff is always going to be pseudo, and we just don't know without knowing in ourselves that child can be both sex, androgynous, not having nothing at its first stage, and as it grows, again, if we bring in some the mother's ability to um, produce testosterone or however it comes in chemically to that child is going to be a factor of how it develops. Sometimes it develops both,
I
you
mean,
know?
yeah. They all have the ability to have both. It's crazy. What I'm saying
Yeah,
is, one is the norm, and what it boils down to, like I say, everything comes from a single cell organism. So, there was no women first before men and all this. Now, the first thing that probably split from the body of the, you know, of the dual, you know, of the, Hermes and Aphrodite, like we say, the hermaphrodite or whatever, the androgynous being. Like the first one that probably split off probably was, yes, a woman. You feel me? But what I'm saying is, you know, that yeah, the embryo has the ability to basically be both.
yeah. We have to bring in genetic codes and
Hey, matter of fact, I
bringing
want to
things
tag.
down, foods.
We can't speak genetically speaking, because when genetically speaking, if we start talking about genetics, we already know that your genes are passed down through your mama, or whatever. And
Yeah, both. You're gonna get some maternal DNA and some paternal DNA.
the what is the name of
Mitochondrial
the
DNA.
Yeah,
mitochondria DNA
exactly,
that you're gonna get is gonna come from your mama. That's what's gonna build you. Yeah, you're gonna have
exactly.
addition to it, and that's the reason why you have the. Let me share this.
Hey, I often say look up XY women. Because men are supposed to be XY. I'm showing you how the chromosome don't mean much. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people with two X's and a Y and all kind of stuff, double Y, but you got XY women. And these XY women, like basically their reproductive system is not a woman. But externally they have a vagina and all of this. They just can never get pregnant because they basically don't have a womb. You got XY women, and I'm not talking about no trans.
Hmm.
You know, yeah. But what you call it, StreamYard, keep kicking my brother off. I don't understand why he
They-
hating on it. They know we closing down. You know,
right, right.
they
Yeah,
trying to
personally,
close us down. What about the
yeah. So
theory?
don't mind me. I've been reading a lot of
every
philosophical
time,
books.
every time I click share screen, it kicks me out. Watch, I'm
Yeah,
about to.
they hating on you. They hating on you.
There it goes. Alright, so what was, now I forgot what the fuck I was trying to. How much genetic material is
Cut
found
out.
in males? It says the observable physical or biochemical characteristics of an organism as determined by both genetic makeup and environmental influences. The expression of a specific. Well, this is not telling. Uh,
Hey,
That's
put like this.
you know.
All no, no, no. On that same one, go back. Say all embryos are
no,
phenotypic
yeah, no,
feminine.
this is I was on the wrong tab. My bad. It says men and women have practically the same set of 20,000 genes. The only physical difference in their genetic makeup is the sex chromosome. Only males have a Y chromosome, although the X chromosome is present. But that's not telling me how much genetic
No,
material.
no,
What?
bro. I'm gonna prove them wrong. Look up X, Y women. Cause they just said only women, only men will have a Y. You know.
Y women.
I understand it's a syndrome, but whatever. You know, it still exists. You got people like this in the Olympics kicking girls' asses. I'm just saying.
What is an XY female? Sex chromosomes usually determine whether you are female or male. Women are X, and men. That doesn't explain nothing.
No,
Yeah,
Do
women
females
got
fly?
there it is. Do females have Y chromosomes?
Where,
It was down some,
Yeah, right.
down right there. Do females have Y chromosomes?
Each person normally has one pair of sex chromosomes.
normally.
The Y chromosome is present in males who have the X and one Y chromosome, which females have two X chromosomes. Identifying genes on each chromosome is an active area of genetic research. Yeah, but that doesn't tell us if it is, they do
And
not.
and it's like Calico said, anytime you see normally,
Yeah,
that's code
yeah,
for not all.
yeah. 85% of y'all, yeah, that's what they're saying. For the 85 percenters, but it's still a 15% out of that's going all these different directions they can't explain. They go, oh shit, I don't know what I'm talking about no more. You know, but they got you can look up. You can look. Matter of fact, you can look up XXY. Like it's like that. Like it's all kind of chromosomes, and they got us just locked in thinking about
There's
XX
all
or
kinds of
XY.
extra whatever, you know. But let me see. There was another one. Phenotypically, we talked about.
On
Uh,
on the phenotypically one, you could have put all embryos or all embryos phenotypically feminine. But then you'll find different information because when you just type it that one way, you're gonna only see it that way. Like I had all kind of screenshots on that and looked at different
Right.
medical books that explain how it's just phenotypic. But it's all as well. Like we done pretty much got the point across. You know, so
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and y'all already know. Let us know in the comments section if you know, you know, if y'all have figured it out, and y'all can let us know. You feel me? Because we just put the information out there. So you
right.
know,
Or do some more research and go back to your black philosophers who has a functioning pineal gland and can figure things out versus our
Well, this is the whole. I was looking for the video, but my shit started going fucking haywire and shit. But there is a video from within the conscious community that mm, let me see if I can find. But go ahead, sister.
okay, and about the clitoris, as part of the erogenous zone. The male had a erogenous zone comparable to that before, if he doesn't get circumcised, he still has like extra just functions that's just for erogyny. It does. It gets cut off. And that's the video we're going to do somewhere down the line when we go through what all's taking place during circumcision. So a lot of it is there's power in sex, there's magic in sex. So we can't
look,
act like these.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying what I'm saying about the nipples and the clitoris is they are remnants of duality, and I mean within one being. That's why I say you have people that are dual sex. So this is
Hmm.
where we see the Baphomet and all of this stuff. Like it really just shows that if there was a single celled organism truly of a human being, then it would have all of both. And then, like I say, you can look it up. Like, hey, Taz, if you can, right quick, look up dual sex. DUALSEXED. Last thing before we get out of here. But yeah, dual sex, and you probably can look up how many births are dual sex. It's gonna tell you like one out of every 1,100. And then if you looked up how many babies are born every day, we're talking about hundreds of thousands. So
What do you mean by double sex babies?
dual, DUAL.
Yeah. What do you mean by dual sex babies?
Hermaphrodite.
Hmm.
that has what?
Both.
It
That's
has
what dual.
it has a penis and a vagina,
Right.
Yeah.
right? But it don't have no clitoris though.
I don't know. I don't know now.
I mean, I don't know neither. I'm throwing it out. You're the one that mentioned it, so I'm assuming you know.
Yeah.
Have y'all
Uh,
have y'all ever seen the process of reversing sex, or turning this into that and vice
yeah,
versa?
yeah,
Okay. Okay. So
yeah.
I
I
mean, I don't,
mean,
I don't want to get really graphic, but
Hey, did you pull up the dual sex?
that's what I'm looking at, but it's not giving me not. It says ambiguous genital. Oh, I'm not sharing. My bad. My bad.
these guys from California.
Mm.
Woman and alien. She's more
Yep.
like
I
I
heard
mean,
all that. That's
she's
real now. He pointed.
she's a portal, but it's just can a baby be born with two genders? Ambiguous genitalia is a rare condition in which an infant external genitals don't appear to be clearly either male or female. In a baby with ambiguous genitalia, the genitals may be incomplete.
That's something else. I don't know about ambiguous genital. I'm talking
That's
about
out there.
dual. I'm talking about dual. They letting you know it's some crazy stuff out there though. I tell you that. For them to
That's
say that.
dual
It's
babies.
only gonna
Well,
get
how do you want me to word it?
You can just look up dual sex. You don't got to even put babies on there. Yeah, I would put ED. ED.
dual sex.
ED
Yeah,
where?
that's it right there, ain't it? What it say?
Dual sex political systems, dual sex no.
Nah, see, no, 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 no. Nah, well,
He's talking about a
well,
hermaphrodite.
yeah, all of
Put
that is what a
Inhumans at the end.
yeah, that's what it
Okay.
is.
Or put Inhumans at the
Or
end of your search.
no, or basically how many babies are born dual sex?
It says babies born on the sliding sex scale. A child is born neither male or female. A child that is born neither male or female is a rare occurrence. But babies born with some form of disorder or sex development happens in one in every 1,500 birth according to the, so it's one every 1,500.
And
Hmm.
like I say, it's at least like 50,000. It was saying like kids born in America every day, and we ain't even talking about all around the world because they can't even imagine. But yeah, you know, but and that's crazy. That's probably what those people in those countries have. They probably have an ambiguous genitalia, and then they become girls. I mean, boys later on.
Right, but how is it happening? How is one
I mean, it's really the fact that
genital?
people haven't developed. They haven't developed in the womb. Like a lot of people, like I ain't gonna lie, they probably were. See, that's another thing about when you mixing, these different genetics. When you mixing, a African and a European, so to speak. Let's go with those terms. Like when
Right.
you mix an African and European, like just for the baby to be able to survive, they have to get that ROGAM shot, RH O, like O blood, RH blood, O blood, and gam. Like when you get the word like monogamy, polygamy. So obviously it has to do with sex. So we're talking about the ROGAM shot is the mixing of these two different bloods, trying to make the body used to it, so it won't kill the baby. You feel me? So it's gonna be a premature baby 9 out of 10 regardless because it's been trying to kill it the whole time. So it's at least gonna kick it out early, you know, for the safety of the baby. But what I'm saying is, when you're kicking something out early, it's not done developing. You feel me? You know, you
That's right.
you can't open the oven until the cake is perfect, or it's gonna, sink. It's gonna, the cake was rising and looking good, but if you open that oven too soon, it's gonna deflate. So a lot of things never rise. The cream don't get to rise to the top. When it's so premature. You feel me? So that's how I look at it. And even though they might have had however many months, it just wasn't enough.
What is the
That's
name
right.
of the first man on earth? And that's maintained in the secret societies and in the Adam chambers
Close it out.
of Egypt. Aisha. Now, is that masculine or is it feminine?
The inheritance comes through the mother, not the father. Never. He's a steward. And when we get that straight, we'll be straight.
But don't the father determine the seed?
No,
You are what your father is. You saying that you are what the mother is?
you, Sanetta, are what your mama made you. You best believe. And anything short of that is dishonor to your
But
mother.
inside of the sperm, there's intelligence,
No.
there's
Hold on.
life.
No, I'm not
there's
disagreeing
energy.
with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. But let me put it to you.
Okay.
The seed is not your sperm. That's the first thing that has been told. That's a lie. The seed is the seed of thought. That's the seed. All right? So walking around thinking, well, the seed is what comes out of my penis, when we have